In this episode of the Active Office Worker series, you're going to learn how to keep your feet, ankles, and knees mobile so they don't stiffen up from a long day at the office. Hey, what's up? Eric Wong here from Precision Movement, and welcome to the sixth and final episode of the Active Office Worker series. So in this series, I've been sharing different exercises for every area of your body that you can do sitting down when you're at the office to ensure that your muscles stay active and they don't shut off and become inhibited from not using them all day. And also to ensure that your joints maintain their mobility. So if you're going to go work out or play a sport after work, you don't have to spend as much time warming up and mobilizing to be able to jump into your sport and participate safely. So in this series, we're going to cover the lower limb, which I define as the knee, the ankle, and the feet. And these areas definitely need some work, just like every other joint, but in particular, the feet, because they're trapped in that coffin that we call a shoe all day, the muscles in the feet can become inhibited, shut off, weak, so that they don't provide the functions that they're supposed to provide. One of the main ones is creating the arch. The arch isn't some passive structure, but it's made up of muscles and fascia, and it's the activation of those muscles that creates the arch, which help it provide its functions of shock absorption and energy return to make your movement more efficient. So we're going to go through three techniques in this video. The first, we're going to start with the feet. So this technique, you'll want to sit on the edge of your seat here. Sit in nice alignment. And it's called the big toe pivot. And all you're going to do is think about going on your big toe. So press your big toes into the ground a little bit. And then you're going to pivot out and then pivot in. Hold it there. And then you pivot out as far as you can, and then you pivot in. Now, when you pivot out, the heel's out, that's actually tibial internal rotation, so the tibia are pointed in, and you have that big toe pressing down, you're gonna really feel the arches fire up, and you might feel some cramping because you're getting into their shortened ranges. Try to stay with that cramping, hold it, don't just let it go, because that's a sign that those muscles don't know what to do at that range, and you've got to teach them what to do, and you teach them what to do by maintaining that position and that activation. So avoid the urge to just let it go. So you're just pivoting on the big toes, and if you can do it without shoes, it's best, but you can still do it with your shoes on. It's always good to give your feet some space though. Okay? Back and forth. And with that technique, 3 to 5 repetitions in each direction. All right, so that's really focusing in on the arch and getting those muscles fired up, as well as tibial rotation, so knee rotation like that. Okay, next up, ankle car. So this is controlled articular rotation. For this technique, you want to straighten out the knee so you isolate the ankle. When the knee is bent, you're going to get tibial rotation in there, which is fine, but we want to isolate the ankle with this. So here, you go into plantarflexion, and then we can go inversion to dorsiflexion to eversion, and down. Okay? Keeping the knee locked out isolates the ankle. And you're doing, again, 3 to 5 repetitions in each direction, on each side. Now, it's important that you go slow and you don't just do this kind of thing, a little loose circle, but really expand the range, pushing the range at every range. Okay, so I'm always trying to make that circle as big as possible. Okay, and obviously you're doing that on both sides. Finally, technique number 3, we've got the reciprocal knee flexion extension. So for this, I recommend you hover. What that does is it forces you to work your core stabilizers to maintain your upright position. So you can use your hands too if you need balance, depending on what kind of seat you're on. But all you're gonna do is reciprocal motion, knee flexion. So heel to the butt here, firing up the hamstrings, and then knee extension, firing up the quads. Hold it there, 5 seconds, and then switch. And here I'm trying to really fire up the quads as much as I can and really fire up the hamstrings, get that heel as close to my butt as possible. I'm never letting go of that strong activation. Okay, so it's just a reciprocal motion. As one body part does one thing, the other body part does the opposite. So flexion and extension. 5-second holds. And really work on it. So getting the quads, getting the hamstrings active, getting the knees working through their full ranges of flexion and extension will keep those muscles alive and keep the knee joint healthy, getting the blood flow into that joint. So here you can see that we worked knee flexion extension, tibial rotation, full range of ankle motion, inversion, eversion, plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, and then we worked on some metatarsal pressure to get the arch muscles working. Okay, so that's going to keep these areas alive, keep them ready for you to get out after work and have some fun, and it's going to contribute to your movement longevity. So that's it. That's it for this series. These are all techniques you can do. You don't have to do them at the office. You can do them at home when you're at dinner, when you're watching TV, whatever it is. Little techniques, little concepts that you can use to bring more activity, more movement, more mobility to your everyday life in a way that's not going to take any extra time and not too much extra effort from you. Okay, so hope you really enjoyed this series. I had some fun coming up with these techniques and sharing them with you. And with respect to the lower limb, if you do have issues with ankle problems, arch, flat foot, plantar fasciitis, patellar tendonitis, chronic knee pain, things like that, then check out my lower limb control course. It's a course that includes techniques to build you up from single joint, isolated movement to multi-joint, complex movements that transfer to the gym and sport. All right, so check that out. We'll link that at the end of this video. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed this again, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.